Konnichiwa, minasan. What is up, everybody? It's me, Troy, and I'm back here with another video. And first, as always, I want to say thanks to everybody who recently commented, liked, and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for being here. And so with that being said, I am going to be talking about Kim Harrison's A Perfect Blood, which I managed to finish reading. And I'm going to put the book down, girl, because I have to use my hands. Like, I communicate with my hands at best. It is book number 10 in her Rachel Morgan's The Hollow series. As I said in my previous TBR video, I had a lot of hesitation, proclamation, reservations, trepidations for reading this book, for the specific reason that I started it in 2012, got 22 pages in, and decided to bail because I saw what Kim Harrison was trying to do, which was irritating. And then here it is, 2016, where I decided I'm gonna pick this book up and I'm gonna try it, and I actually managed to get through it. But let's be super clear here, all of those trepidations, hesitations, and reservations that I had back in 2012 came to light. Yes, ma'am, they did. But despite all that, A Perfect Blood actually captured my attention once I read past page 22. And it captured my attention for the specific and glorious reason that there was actually a crime scene involved. That it was paranormal based, but that's of course only natural because this is a urban fantasy series. But there was a crime scene involved. So what, to me, that registered as, okay, here's Rachel Morgan, the series protagonist. I was like, yes, she finna get to work, girl. She finna start throwing out them spells. She's finna start investigating. She's about to start actually using her brain to figure out what exactly is taking place here. And I was like, yes, we're about to go to work. Kim Harrison is about to put the main protagonist to actual work and stop muddling around in her feelings and her emotions, and most especially this fake ass romance that they done piled up, that Kim Harrison done piled up together to get some more contracts and stuff. No shade. So yes, there was a crime scene involved, and Rachel Morgan, as a bounty hunter and a professional in the paranormal field, you can say, but not really. As far as I'm concerned, somebody needs to strip her of her credits, give her a pink slip, and send her on her way. But she, like I said, was asked to come and investigate the crime scene. But they asked her to come in first to sort of gauge whether or not she was responsible, because it is a paranormal crime scene that involves demon blood and demon sort of relevance. But listen to this, despite that being the case, and despite me wanting to really read this book and thinking, oh my god, like, we have some procedurals going on here, some sleuth things, so the things that I love, you know, when a woman, female character is, you know, is hustling and getting things done. That was not the case, not at all. So with that bullet point being the first one, that there was an actual crime scene, which to me translates to the author is actually going to be putting in this, I don't want to say this, but it is shady, but I'm not trying to be that way, because it's not like I can write a book, but the author is actually going to put in some work into the book, into the series, into the characters as well. Nonetheless, that Rihanna work did not take place. As far as the fact that, you know, I was drawn into this story because I was like, you know, there's going to be some procedural elements to it. All of that was not present. The procedural was limited basically to Rachel Morgan, as I said, as a witch slash demon. Rachel Morgan creating these charms that she gave to herself and to the organization investigating the case. She gave these charms to them. These people, they rolled around Cincinnati. Whenever the charm would blink, flicker, a twitch, like, I don't know, like LaToya Jackson's laugh, girl, then they would investigate that particular facility that's in the radius of that charm's activity. That was the pure limit to what the investigating and sleuthing and procedural aspect of this series, of this particular book, brought, and it was so disappointing. But with that being said, my point number 2 is that while Kim Harrison did not give you any procedural, that was mainly because every single thing in this book, from the characters to the crimes itself to the scenes to everybody's motivation, pretty much, it was all there, in my estimation, to facilitate this relationship between Rachel Morgan and the series antagonist Trent. That was purely what it was all about to me. And I say that because the pacing of this book was terrible. Terrible in the sense that it really was just a pattern of Rachel Morgan bitching and moaning, Rachel Morgan doing the same thing to her friends, Rachel Morgan pseudo-investigating the scene, Rachel Morgan either captured or knocked unconscious, and then Rachel Morgan being saved by or relieved from her afflictions by the main antagonist of the series, Trent. Like, seriously, guys, he was always there to pick her up, and it was just like, dude, really, Kim Harrison, really, this is what this. Are you gonna be that obvious with what you're gonna do with this series? So yes, like I was saying, every single hesitation, proclamation, affirmation that I had about reading this book, you know, in that span of these 4 years, it all came true. I saw precisely what Kim Harrison was doing at the very beginning of the book, and she delivered on that well, whackness. Yeah, whackness. But you know, it's all good. You know, you gotta give the readers what they want, honey. You gotta get those contracts rolling in, so I ain't mad at her. But let me tell y'all this, and this is where this is where the read is gonna come in, about how let me tell you, I don't get into people, but I will get into a book character, okay? That's my outlet, okay? Rachel Morgan is one of the dumbest urban fantasy protagonists that I have ever read. But let me be clear first. In the beginning of the series, I really did believe in her. I really did think she was a capable and strong protagonist, especially after reading Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake series. But, you know, with that being said, I remember reading reviews and people's thoughts of her that she was childish, incompetent, always making mistakes, and couldn't really think for herself. And I didn't really get into that. But it took that span of me stopping the series and getting to this book to realize that all of that was true. Now let me go ahead and tell you guys why I believe this and why this became so true, girl. This is gonna sound like, this is gonna be so foolish. Listen, Rachel Morgan has a bodyguard named Wade. She had a problem with him, girl. She was like, he is not doing his job. So what this girl did at the very beginning of the book was she decided to go up to his particular room and board to challenge him. She challenged him in a spar. You know, she was like, look, we're going to throw up these hands, we're going to throw up these dukes, and we're going to get into it. And she was like, I want you to show me what you're working with. Show me why you should continue to be my bodyguard. He ended up carrying her over his shoulder out the door. That was the first bell that rung in my head. Like, Kim Harrison, why do you have this grown man throwing this grown woman over his shoulder? Like, how Teutonic can you be? Like, what can he be? Excuse me, not her. But how Teutonic can you make this character in this whole situation? Now, you know what? This is not my ram. This is not my categories, and you ladies can answer this for me, because like I said, this is not my ram. But I just find it so disturbing for me to read a book where a man has to slang a woman over his shoulder to get her to do what he wants her to do. Please help me figure that out, ladies. I don't know nothing about that, because ain't nobody ever slung me over. But with that being said, to continue with this theme of how Rachel was challenging her bodyguard, and to further show you guys how stupid this character is, I'm sorry, like, I just have to keep it real. She decided the following day that what she was going to do was she was going to run away from him. So she hopped on a bus to the downtown Cincinnati, leaving him running out of their house, or where he's boarded at, in his drawers and his t-shirts, trying to chase her down into the city. Like, how stupid do you have to be, lady? Like, for real. Regardless of whether you feel like he is doing his job or not, he's a bodyguard. What does a bodyguard do? They guard your body with their own. So she decided to run away from him. And during the entire whole book, she kept throwing up the fact that he was inadequate and no good. And check this out. When we got to the very end of the book, where Rachel was finna go into the final confrontation with the enemy or whatnot, who, by the way, cracked one of her ribs, I believe, and sprained her ankle or whatever, and she had to walk out with crutches to go challenge him while leaving all of her friends aside. The bodyguard went to chase her out of the apartment complex to stop her, to get her keys to stop her. You know, like, Rachel, you can't do this. You cannot go fight this man alone, even though he's calling you out. She wrestled with him to get him off of her, because he was trying to grab her keys. Listen to this, trying to grab her keys to her car. She took an ashtray and beat him over the head repeatedly to get him off of her bodyguard. And you know what she did? After she knocked him unconscious, she went out the door and hopped in the car of the guy. His name is Trent, who is the series antagonist. So the two of them could Bonnie and Clyde together to go capture this bad guy. With her ankle sprained and her ribs cracked and walking around in crutches. I just thought that was just so ridiculous to me. And literally I was like, Kim Harrison, like, you couldn't think of writing that scene any other way. Like, you could not make these characters any smarter than that. You know what I mean? That was the stupidest thing. Girl, let me tell you, when I got to that point, it was like, I think I had about this much left of the book. I was like, you know what, this is dumb. I was just like, let me just cold read this mess until I get to the end and just finish it up. That's how stupid that was. But anyway, with that being said, I do not know. There's like 3 more books left in the series, and I already got the next one, the 11th book. So it's just like, I don't know. It's like part of me want to read it and part of me doesn't. But yes, that's where I'm left off with this. Like, I cannot believe that Rachel did that. Like, that's so stupid.